Completing the square. Solve the following by completing the square. 2x squared plus 8x minus 7 equals 0. In order to solve this by completing the square, we must first look at the constant term, and then add the opposite of it to both sides. It is here now that we need to complete the square on the left side. We will do so by adding the same number to both sides. In this case, however, the number 2 here needs to be a 1 in order to complete the square. So the first step will be to factor a 2 out of the left side of the equation. We simply factor the portion here, and it becomes 2 parentheses x squared plus 4x. We can now complete the square on the inside parenthesis. To do so, we take half of the 4, or half of b, and square it, and that's the number we add to both sides. Half of 4 is 2, squared is 4. It is at this place that we need to be extremely cautious. We have added a 4 on the left side, but the 2 affects the 4. The 2 will multiply by the 4, which in effect has added an 8 on the left side, which means we must add an 8 to the right side. We now continue with our simplification. The inside parenthesis factors. X squared plus 4x plus 4 will equal x plus 2 squared. The 2 stays outside parenthesis, and 7 plus 8 is 15. Now that we have a parentheses squared, we need to isolate it, which means we must divide both sides by 2. After doing so, we get x plus 2 squared equals 7.5. It is at this point that we can now square root both sides. The square root of x plus 2 squared is x plus 2, and the square root of 7.5 will be left alone. However, when you square root both sides of an equation, with the x on the left side, you will always plus or minus the right side. We now get x by itself by subtracting 2 on both sides, and then our final answer becomes -2 plus or minus the square root of 7.5.